Hi guys, I am Paul from Progressive Machining, and I would like to introduce you to this ERP system that I have been working on for the past year and a half. And honestly, I think it's more than an ERP system. I call it a production or a manufacturing suite. You can call it whatever you want, but I do think by the end of this video, you have hopefully found this useful for you or somebody that you know. Um, the software is made by a machinist for a machinist. It is not made by some IT professional or some German manufacturing company that made things as complicated as it possibly could be, where you were relying on the company to teach you or needing a training manual to figure it out. It is self explanatory and easy, and it looks good and it makes sense. And I hope it's going to help you run your shop. I have always been the guy that thought, man, why does my boss do things this way? It doesn't make any sense. Or if they move this job here, or if they ran this program this way, or they changed this or that in the process, that it would just make so much more sense. Or I, I've always just been the guy at the shop that wanted to start his own company, and I think if you've worked at a machine shop for long enough, um, you either become the guy who has always thought, man, I'm just going to put up a pole barn on my property and I'll get a 30-year-old machine in there and I'll start making chips and it'll be great and I'll make my own programs and everything's going to run awesome and I'm going to make a whole bunch of money and me and my buddies are going to be doing it together and not going to deal with shitty coworkers or my awful boss or whatever. You just wanted to do it on your own. And I was always that guy. And I think there's a lot of other people that I've worked with that have also said the same thing. I think if you enjoy machining enough, eventually you get to the point where you want to machine things on your own. Some people just stay like a button pusher. Some people get a little bit more involved. Usually, the guys that get more involved really like machining. Um, this is for you. This is for the guy that wants to run his own shop. But usually, when people talk about running their own shop, they only think about how can I get a location, how can I get three-phase power and airlines running, and how do I get the machine and what machine do I get? And they don't really think about the back end of things, which is the software that helps you run your shop. So that's what this is, and I'm pretty proud of it. I've put a lot of work into it, and I think it's easier to use than any other ERP system, and I have used Visual and Job Boss and SAP, and they all suck. I made this to not suck, and I'm going to show you why, and hopefully it makes sense for you and your shop. And if you don't have a shop yet, or you have a dream of starting a shop, this is going to be the thing that makes it easier for you, because some of these ERP systems can cost like $500 to $1,000 to $2,000 a seat a month, and that just doesn't make sense for somebody starting a shop or a medium-sized shop. Or I think this could even work for a large company. So just check it out, and we'll dig into it, and we'll see what all's going on, and we can see if it makes sense for you. This is the setup page. I'm running this on localhost right now, but when you install the software, it'll be on your IP address with a port of 5,000, probably, like mine is. So if you install this on a computer any computer on your network will be able to access this app. You don't need a seat. You don't have to pay monthly subscriptions per person that's going to use it. You just pay one time. It's on your network or just on a computer, however you want to set it up, and it's easy to set it up, and it's cheap, and it works. So, ignore the local host thing for now. So let's get started. What are we doing? So let's do the fresh install and the setup wizard. When you first launch the app, you're going to get into this setup wizard. It's going to walk you through all the basics for setting the app up. It's self-explanatory. You don't need an IT team. You don't need a company representative from whoever to come set this up for you and train you. It should all make sense. So we're going to hit next. And if you've ever made an account anywhere else, it's the same way here. So we're going to just name this admin, and we're going to choose a password. Type it twice. You should probably save this somewhere. There's a way to get it back, but right now, just make sure you type it twice, exactly the same, and then you can click next. Your file storage. This tells you where the ERP is going to store drawings, models, programs, photos, notes, anything else. You can do it local, Docker volume. If you don't know what Docker is, don't worry about it. Just pick local, and you can pick your storage path. Or if you don't pick a storage path, it'll just pick one for you, and you can figure it out where it is later. A network share is what I do recommend that you do. If you have a NAS, some computer running in another room or a server or whatever, you should install this there. It makes more sense to me, but you can really put it wherever you want. Either way, as long as somebody has access to that computer on your network, you can access the entire ERP app, and you can make as many accounts as you want. For this installation, I'm just going to do local, and I'm not going to put anything here. It's just going to default to this right here, and I'm going to hit next. You want to start a shop. You want to make parts, make some chips. You want to get paid. That's the biggest reason that anybody wants to start machining. And with this whole made in America, machining coming back to America thing, we're here to make money. That's the end goal. How do you accept money? How do you get paid? I'm going to add additional payment options right now. I just have Stripe because that's what I use. You can set up Stripe here, you can turn it on, and if you go to Stripe and make an account, you'll get secret keys that you can put in here. This is an optional thing for a webhook. If you don't know what webhooks are, you don't have to use it. Don't worry about it. There will be a Stripe dashboard built into the app. I'm not going to set this up for now, but if you want to, just put your Stripe info here, and it'll be automatically configured in the app. Next. Some more integrations besides payments. There is an in-browser 3D viewer for your models. I recommend using step files, but you can use pretty much anything like an STL file or a GREB or whatever weird model you want to use. It'll probably work. But step files work the best because there is an in-app measuring system. You can do toolpath simulation on your model in the app itself. You don't have to open Fusion or Mastercam or whatever. It's probably not as accurate as those, I admit, but if you just need an idea of what your tool is going to do and you just need to see it on the model, you can do that. If you want to use Autodesk's viewer, you can get credentials and put it in here, or you can just use the one that's built in. So you can put your client ID and your client secret there for Autodesk. you can skip this if you want. Another cool thing about the app is we are in the age of AI. A lot of people don't like AI. You don't have to like AI. That's totally fine. You can turn this on or turn it off, and you don't have to use it at all if you don't want to. I personally recommend using it. And if you turn it on, you can either choose between running local models, or you could just use ChatGPT or Claude or Grok or whatever else you want to use. I am a big proponent of running my own hardware, running my own AI models. I built my server, I built all my computers, I do everything I can myself. If you want to run your own models and you run Ollama and OpenWebUI, if you don't know what that is, it doesn't matter. But if you have Ollama and you want to put your credentials in here, you can run your own local models. And why would you want to do that? Every feature on this app has an API, which means that an AI can access and manipulate and read data from pretty much everything in this app. If you, for example, want to add a tool to your tool library in your tool crib, you can talk to your model that you're running, or Claude or whatever, and you can say, make this tool. It's a 1/2-inch end mill. It's got a 30 thousandths corner radius with a 2-inch flute length, and it will create that tool for you in your inventory. Or you can just type all that stuff in yourself if you want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. That's just an example. There's like literally 500 different APIs that this thing can manipulate. You can dig into it. I'll go into it in later videos. If you don't want to worry about it, don't worry about it for now. Discord notifications. You can connect Discord to the app, and let's say you get a Stripe invoice paid. You'll have a little pop-up in Discord, and it'll say invoices paid. Or if a new work order gets created, it'll show up in Discord, or you can chat about things with the app. If you have a bot in Discord, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. Basically, this is just a Discord integration. If you don't want to use it, don't have to use it. If you want to, it's there. Recurring theme. So we are all set. That's all we had to do to get this set up. We're going to launch the ERP now. I'm not going to save that. Let's type in my name and password. All right, this is the app. This is everything you've been waiting for. When you first launch the app, it's going to take you to this little tutorial thing right here, just to kind of help you. Sure. Just to kind of set things up. I enabled notifications. There's a reason I did that. I'll talk about it probably in a later video. The first thing that you want to do in this tutorial is create a storage location. What is a storage location? That is where materials and parts are stored. For example, rack A receiving, or the shop floor, or that shelf behind the machine where we put that one fixture that just collects dust that we run once a year. You can make any kind of storage location that you want. Name it whatever you want. For example, let's just make one now. So we're going to set up our tool storage. Every tool and shop needs to store tools, materials, and fixtures. You can create each one below, and it will not let you progress further in the app until you do this. So let's create tool storage. We're just going to call this tool What type is it? It's a tool crib. You know, let's name this tool chest. Yeah, tool chest. The area or parent location. I run my shop out of my garage. You may also do that. I'm just gonna put garage here. Description. This is my tool chest in the garage. Notes for you, notes for whoever else is going to see this. If you don't run your company by yourself, put a description. It'll help everybody. And then most everything in the app has this little live preview when you're creating something. So that you get an idea of what it's going to look like in the app when you're done. So this location will appear as tool chest in tool crib. That's this type in the garage. Create the location. All right, so we've created tool storage. Got a little badge achievement thing here that says we did it. Now we need material storage. What is the location name? I'm just gonna say it's Rack A. I hope you label your stuff better than I do. This is gonna be storage, but you can also pick a staging area for kitted jobs. We do that at the place that I work at now. We have a whole bunch of staging areas. Receiving or shipping or just the shop floor, if that makes sense to you. The tool crib, inspection, or other. You can make whatever you want. I'm just going to put storage here. This is also in the garage. We're going to say back of garage. Description. In the back. Okay, rack A in back of garage. We created this location. That is where we're storing our material. Fixture storage. Let's create where we're going to store our fixtures. This is going to be rack B. And it'll be storage. Yeah, storage. And it's going to be side of garage. Description. Stores all of my fixtures. So now it's rack B in the side of the garage. We created this location. Okay, I had a little video oopsie. I didn't record adding the machine, but there would be a little button right here that says add machine. You just click that as your next step, and then once you finish all your storage locations, that gets crossed off. When you add your machine, that'll get crossed off. I'm going to go through it now just like I did before. I'm going to leave this one that I just made in there, and I'm going to add a second one. Just act like this is the first one. I'm going to call this V2 because I named my first one B1. The machine name, let's just add the exact, let's just say I bought two of the same machines. I'm going to call this the 1102. My first one was just 1100. This is another vertical mill. There's a whole bunch of different types of machines you can pick from. We're going to make a vertical mill. Its status is active downlane. It's retired. It's active. We like this machine. It's very active. Our machine should always stay active. The manufacturer is Tormach. The model is an 1100MX. The machine power and the default labor rate, if you know what you charge for your machine, you can put this in here. It's going to help later because we have costing and a whole bunch of other stuff built into this that helps you figure out if you are actually profitable on a job, and that is the most important part of doing this. A lot of us do it for fun, but you want to make money in the end and have fun. This will help you do that. For notes, in my first machine, I said it was my baby. I'm going to say this is my second baby. And we're going to have this dynamic name down here. This machine will appear as the V2, 1102. Vertical mill Tormach 1100X, $50 an hour. there is this secret little tab here, which I didn't go over the first time, and I'm kind of glad that I lost that recording. So we're going to open this. Really cool feature of the ERP system. If you want to enable machine integration, click this box. And what is machine integration? For example, my Tormach, I can access it wirelessly over my network, and I can send files back and forth to it, and I can even control it if I want to. Don't control your machine wirelessly. It's not a good idea to do that. You should always be at your machine. But you can't. So if you type in your machine's IP address here, this MQTT topic prefix, which is something that you have to install on your machine, this is capable. I'm capable of doing this because Tormach runs PathPilot on Linux Mint, which means I can do whatever I want with it since it's Linux. Your G-code share path. This is the path to your G-code folder on your machine where all your programs live. On a Tormach, it's just called G-code. At least mine is. Your username to log into the machine. If you know how to SSH into a machine, you need an account name and a password. That's pretty much what this is. This is how you connect to your machine wirelessly. And if you enable machine integration, you can eliminate flash drives and those really old memory cards and wiring up machines to Ethernet, and you can just do everything over Wi-Fi if you want. So I would recommend enabling this. I'm not going to enable it right now, but you should do it. Then I'm going to add machine. I'm going to go back to my dashboard. So now that we recreated our machine for the first time, that is crossed off. And we want to add a tool to our library. So let's go to create. This is our tool library. You can search. It'll quick find tools for you if you know what you're looking for. This tool type menu will expand dramatically based on the type of tools that you have created in your library, and same with stock levels. You can, once you've created your library, you can export the entire library as a CSV file if you need that for some business financial tool tracking reasons. It's there. If you have exported a previous CVS file for your tool library, you can re-import it. I added this because I made I made a lot of tools for my library, and I made a stupid mistake, and I deleted the whole library. And I wish I would have had another way to back it up. There is backups built into the database of this machine now, but I would have found this handy back then, so I added it now just in case anybody wants to use it. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to use it. So let's add a tool. Our first tool, I'm just going to call it 2-inch face mill. This is a tool name that you can call it whatever you want. Some people have names for tools. If you want to name your tool, go ahead and name your tool. What type is it? I've got every tool you could probably want in here. If I'm missing some, just tell me and I'll add them. I'm going to pick face mill for this. Its diameter is 2. Its corner radius is, I don't remember, let's just put 30 thousandths. It's probably more than that. The flute length, it's 0.5, maybe. Overall length, I don't remember. Let's go with 4. Material encoding. This is just another way to sort all your tools and keep track of them. And I'm just going to pick solid carbide for this one. I have everything you could probably ever want in here. If I'm missing some, just tell me and I'll add it. Solid carbide. We're just going to add a stock of 1 for now. Manufacturer part number, I do not remember. I'm just going to put test. I would recommend filling all of this out if you know the information. the manufacturer URL. I got my 2-inch face mill from Haas. It's a great end mill, or a great face mill. You should get one too. Haas plug. Go ahead and sponsor me if you want. Maybe one day. Location. Where is this tool stored? We just made a bunch of locations. Look at that. Almost like this was intentional. I'm going to put it in the tool crib, because that's where your tools go. If you want to upload a picture of your tool, if you've got some crazy foreign tool that nobody knows what it is, it's super rare, one of a kind, and you need to help people find it, add a photo of your tool. If you click choose file, you can upload a photo. So there you go. It takes a whole bunch of different file types. This is our new tool name, our dynamically made tool name that will make itself as you fill out this form. So we have a 2-inch solid carbide face mill. The inserts are carbide. Maybe I could change that. I might change that in the future. With a 30-inch or a 30 thou radius, 1/2 inch length of cut, 4-inch overall length. Looks good. We're going to click add tool, add generic tool. Now this tool shows up in our library, and face mill shows up in types, and if you type face mill here, you're just going to have to trust me, it brings up the face mills. Stock levels, low, good, medium. You can sort by all that stuff. Okay, now that we've done that, let's go back to the dashboard, and add a tool is crossed off on our tutorial. Next we need to add a material. You have tools, you gotta have stuff to cut with your tool. What kind of material are we adding? You've got a whole bunch of choices. You can do custom, you can do sheets and plates and billets and round stock and castings, whatever you wanna do. We're gonna cut a billet this time, just as an example. Aluminum, steel, stainless steel, titanium, brass, copper, plastic. I'm going to add another one here for other materials that I didn't think of, and to just round this off. But we're just going to do aluminum for now. Everybody likes cutting aluminum. What kind of aluminum? We're going to cut 6061. What is our length? It's 2.5 inches, and it's, how wide is it? 1 inch wide. How high is it? 0.5. How many of these billets do we have? We have 20 of them for some reason. If you want to do your cost per piece, you can do your cost per piece. You should fill out all the costing stuff. This will help you track your finances, which is another thing that this production suite does. It'll run your whole shop for you. You do not need an office full of people to run this business. You can probably do it by yourself if you figure out this software well enough, and it's easy to use, so you should. Where are we putting this? We're going to put it in rack B. Our material will be 6061, T6 billet, 2.5 inches thick, 1 inches by 0.5. That's our dynamic tool, or material name. So let's create the material. Boom, our tutorial is done. You are all set. Your shop has locations, machines, and tools configured. You are ready to create your first work order. I am probably going to leave this video here. This is already long enough. And I'm tired. It's real late. It's 1 in the morning right now. The next thing we're going to go over is this guided setup button. This is probably the most helpful thing in this whole app. In this guided setup, you are going to create a sales order and a work order, and you're going to add operations, and you're going to add tools, and you're going to add BOM or materials to your BOMs, and you can add components and sub-assemblies and scheduling and all sorts of stuff. And it sounds super complicated, but I promise it's not. So in the next video, we will go over the guided setup, and you can create a a new work order another way. You don't have to use the guided setup. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. I guess I'm going to leave it at that for this one. I hope I see you guys in the next video. Thanks.